you in a follow-up email. So anything you want to look over, we'll also send the deck or the slides over, just in case you want to look over it. All right. Let's see. I'm working with, let's see. Okay. I've got one small screen here, so the presenting might be all good for everyone. Can we see this? Okay, it's not tiny.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Teams has been causing some problems lately. Thank you guys, everyone, for being here. This is our midpoint check-in call for Houston. We didn't have our kickoff call back in October, if I remember. So this is kind of a chance for us to check in and go over some of the details for this year. The agenda up here on the screen is a little bit of our roadmap for the conversation, but it's meant to be a very collaborative call, and we definitely want you to chime in if you have questions or suggestions. Me and Jason are going to be doing a lot of screen sharing on the call, so we can make changes, as we talk. And beyond this, you'll definitely have an opportunity to give us any additional feedback on like the map and the route after we're done talking here today, kind of via email. So from the top, I think we can do some intros. I might be the new one here. I know, Paul, I think I remember you from last year's pre-event call, but Marcy, I think Jennifer, I might have met you as well. But I can give a brief reminder. I know that feels like so long ago. But I'm Hannah. I'm the market communications coordinator with Event 360. So I work right alongside Aaron, who has been, helping with the markets year after year. So we're kind of the point of contact and people that you're going to see in your inbox. So I take things from you to Jason and then back from Jason to you. I'm based in Chicago, and this is going to be my first year kind of doing like a full calendar season with PanCan. So I'm really excited to kind of get started from the ground up. I know you guys probably all know Jason, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, I am Jason. Welcome. Thank you for having me back. Your event production coordinator and your master of disaster. Maker of magic. Maker of magic. Yeah, I'm here to do all the things and hopefully make it so that the dreams that you have bouncing around your heads are realized. So it's what I do, and I like it.
Cool. We can pass it over to Paula.
Okay. The girls know me, Paula. They're amazing. I'm so excited to have them, and especially this year. I needed help in the worst way. My husband actually was diagnosed with cancer this year, so they came along at the perfect time to help me. So luckily, it is not near as bad as pancreatic, so we are all good on that front as far as, what he's getting, what he's needing. My schedule is definitely getting tricky, so which is why I have all these meetings today. Today was okay. Had to take off the last couple of days for him, so today is all the meetings. But we're going with it. We're working through it. So other than that, though, we're doing good.
Hi, I'm Marcy. New. So I've walked the PanCan for a couple of years, and then last year, Jenny reached out that they needed an embed day help, so I kind of helped that day. But as far as anything else, new. I don't know. I've tried watching some of the videos, and yeah, just waiting for somebody to say, go do this.
Perfect.
And I'm Jennifer. I've been a volunteer since I started end of 21. My first PurpleStride was 2022. I've been doing the event experience share since I started. And this year we're kind of just helping out as a collaborative. So wherever we can fill in.
Love that. It takes a village, especially with this. Great. Okay, that's lovely. I'm not the only new one, Marcy. I appreciate that. I know you didn't do it for me, but awesome. So we can kind of, sorry, go over, Paula and Jennifer. This might be some old news for you guys, but it's always good to have a little bit of a refresher. Um, so to kind of get started, here, let me bring us back to this. We can just do some housekeeping and go over a few things from the shared resource site. I know you guys might be familiar with this already, but PanCan does a really great job of keeping the trainings and the tutorials on the site updated and adding new ones as they need. So, and providing some refreshers. So these are all just very like short, bite-sized, specific topics of recorded training videos, as well as some documents that act as like training materials. In particular, I've called out a couple of documents, so specifically to do with the event route. We'll share this deck in a follow-up email so that you can kind of have like easier access to just clicking on the link instead of having to find this through all these folders. But yeah, these are some really good resources for the event route. I know, Jennifer, were you the route or the course lead for last year?
Yes.
Awesome. Are you going to be doing that again, or do you guys have someone lined up?
I don't know that we have anyone lined up, and I can do it again. I wanted to check and see. We had asked Katie before she left if we could get it slipped my mind now. The company that did the signage and stuff for us, the guy that rode around on the bike. I can't remember the name of the company.
Yeah.
We probably have it somewhere.
I was gonna see
Yeah.
if we could get them to come back. Race Assist, that's what it was. If they could help, that would be extremely helpful, because not being able to set up the signs until the morning of, that's literally all I did the whole day. Was just running around and then going to pick them up the whole like last hour. So if we could get
Yeah.
Race Assist to do that, that would be a huge help.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And then we can just go make sure that everything's in the right spot, and I can work with them to make sure they get everything put up.
Yeah, and I mentioned this. You definitely don't need to have a lead right now. You guys have some time on that. So if you can get them, or if you need to get someone else, there's still time for that. But if it is them, that's great. I mean, they know what they're doing, and these are resources that they probably already know. But yeah, in the case that it is someone else, or if any of you just want to kind of see what it looks like to mark the route, Jennifer, I know you're kind of a pro at it. These videos are pretty good just to see what's going on. There's lots more in these folders too. Marcy, I'm sure you've seen it. You can have like a movie night with everything in here, which is good.
So I don't know if last year we didn't have any company helping. It was just us.
Really?
And that's why I was saying if we could get them back, or any company back, to help put the signage and stuff. Because I think I ended up walking like 6 miles by the time I got home that day.
Yeah.
Lucky you. Funny. We can also, check in with you on this later. Just, when things start moving forward, progressing, and you guys start getting some more people in place for that. Great. We also wanted to check in about our deliverables timeline. This is very similar to years prior, but we did just want to mention it because our first round of documents has been uploaded to the shared resource site. On today's call, we're going to kind of go over these in more detail. The route map is on Google My Maps still at the bottom of the site. And the sitemap and vendor tracker are uploaded in the document library this past Friday. If you haven't looked at them yet, no problem. That's what we're going to do on this call. So we're right now in the middle of this first one, reviewing them on Market Call 2. And we're going to be doing this for the next 3 weeks with all of our PurpleStride affiliates. And then you'll have until the end of this month to get us any feedback based on this call and kind of your first deep dive into these resources. So anything we get back from you by the end of this month, we're going to incorporate those changes onto the second round of documents and upload those on February 9th. So after these, you're going to have some time to look them over and get us any feedback or last changes via email. We're not going to have a call to go over these second ones. But again, you could always email us. If you need to do a call, we can totally set a one-off. There's no problem with that. But yeah, then we'll be getting the deadline for any additional edits, change requests, any last things. That's going to be March 16th. So that's kind of our big bad deadline that we have. But it does give us quite a bit of time to go over all this and tweak things. And the only changes that we're hoping to make after that date will be to finalize and add the all-star teams and the sponsor information. Those deadlines come a bit after the 16th, but there's nothing that you guys have to do on your end for that. We just get that from PanCan. We'll then incorporate these changes into our final round of documents, which will be hosted on March 23rd. And then we'll start our pre-event calls to go over everything and make sure it looks good. We then kind of mark it as capital F final and put it in the event book on the 17th of April. Oh my God. Yeah, 17th of April. That's so soon. And that's going to be about a week before the event. So yeah, again, it's a pretty similar timeline. It's always just good to refresh it. This is all in the volunteer calendar. So if you ever have questions, you can look at that or this deck. Do you guys have any questions right now? Marcy, I know this might be kind of overwhelming a lot for you, but all good?
A little bit.
Yeah. We made it as condensed as possible, but there's only so much you can do. If you do have any questions, again, just reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys, since we didn't have our call in October, we also wanted to touch on some infrastructure changes that PanCan is implementing this year. Hopefully you've seen some information about these changes already. I know they've come down via PanCan like in a couple different places over the last couple months. You might have gotten a chance to look at it. Mostly, I will say, this is affecting events with fewer than 700 participants. So you guys are above this threshold. So a lot of the things that you see listed here, it's not going to affect you. So you do not have to worry at all about this middle column. And what's on this right-hand column, the expanded package, that's going to be you guys. But again, not a lot of this is changes. A lot of this is literally just stating that you're going to keep it kind of the same. There are two things that I did want to mention. So one of those is the start-finish line. In the past, we've always had that trust structure with the start-finish banner on it. And for 2026, PanCan is kind of trying to consolidate where they can, but while still kind of, making the event beautiful. So with that trust structure, you will only be having it if you have a premier sponsor. The reason for that is the premier sponsor goes on the like start finish banner right on the front. So we kind of need that trust structure to hold it up. That being said, did you guys have a premier sponsor last year, or do you have one historically lined up? If you know.
Premier is the top level, correct?
Yes.
Yes and yes. So last year we had Chesmar Foundation. This year they're coming back.
Awesome. Okay. Wow. Okay. You guys are covered there.
Yep.
That's great. So, okay. So you guys, again, this is just one more thing that's going to stay the same. You'll have that trust with the premier sponsor on it. So that's not going to change. The only other thing kind of big to note is down here highlighted on the bottom right. And hopefully you knew about this already. There will be no t-shirt distribution on events this year. Our t-shirt tent will be gone. They'll be mailed out to participants ahead of time. You're shaking your head. Yeah, Paula?
Yeah, we like that way. That I think was our biggest challenge because we ran out, and that was usually we're over. So yeah.
Good. Yeah, I know for some affiliates they've been like, oh well, we like having that tent there, but I've heard from most people they're like it's a bottleneck. It takes so much time in the morning. So good. Only positive changes here. Other than that, there's not a lot that's going to be changed. There might be a couple things we're asking if you want to do a little bit differently as we go through, but really it's just those two. things like the registration and donation tent, a lot of people already combine those, and everything else is pretty much as normal. The last thing that we wanted to bring up, we might have talked about this in the past, is just our weather contingencies, to make you aware of it. So, I know Houston doesn't receive that many blizzards, but things do happen and it rains, and we'll never rule it out. So if that does happen, or what's more likely is it's unbearably hot, we do have elements in place that we can call in if it looks like it's going to be uncooperative ahead of time. So we'll start to look at this 10 days in advance, to see what the forecasts are telling us. And if it looks like any of this is going to be hitting you guys, then we'll start initiating ordering these extra pieces, whether that's, I don't know, if it rains, like a tent to cover the stage, or if it is extremely hot, getting some extra shade tents for things like that, extra coolers. Jason thinks of everything, so I'm sure you guys will be covered. But just in case you're ever wondering, if it's like really hot, coming up to that date, you're like, oh, we might need some extra tents. I don't know if I should let them know. We've got it covered.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah, of course.
So for us, it's usually more of a humidity factor and less a heat factor. But the humidity is warm when it's in the 70s. And so therefore hot weather kind of does apply to us. And last year we did not have ice. And I think that's the one change we were really hoping to kind of add and get that in place.
Gotcha.
And so if we can just be put down for that, no matter what, I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely relay that. Yeah, I mean, the humidity adds like 15 degrees at least.
Yes. Yes.
It's
Because the
insane.
weather wasn't horrible. It was great, but the humidity really added, and we really could have used it. So yeah.
Okay. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Mhm.
When it comes to stuff like the cold and adding a bunch of heaters, that's a bit harder. But if it is extremely hot, extremely humid, adding coolers and ice is a little bit easier. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but that's something that we can get for you guys, especially if it looks like it's going to be affecting people.
I already have it noted. We can get coolers from the tent vendor and ice from literally around the corner.
I don't even need, you can just leave this call. I don't need to be doing this. You got it. Any question you have, it's probably already answered by Jason. Speaking of, I can pass it over to Jason now to kind of take us through some of the site map, take us through the route map, and then I'll take us through the vendor tracker really quickly. So while he's pulling his screen up, I do have 2 more questions. And one of them is just about our general timeline. So I know last year we were looking at, let me put this up, kind of the same timeline of, it's not loaded for me. Hold on. Here we go. You guys are at 8 a.m. Village opening, a 9 a.m. opening ceremony, 9:30 walk start, and then an 11:30 conclusion. Has that been working? Does that sound good to you guys? Do we need to make any changes? All good?
I think it worked
Great.
out good last year.
Easy. Awesome. Okay, that's great. Last thing, just confirming, you guys don't have any in-kind vendors or anything like donated. Sometimes people have like donated golf carts or ambulances, something of that nature. You guys haven't before, but just to double check. Good.
We brought our
Awesome.
golf cart previously when we were at the Houston Sports Park, but I don't think we can have it at the new place
Nope.
No,
because it's all
sadly.
over the road.
Darn.
No vehicles.
Never mind then. Okay.
It would, I mean, it would help, but I don't think we can have it out there.
Although you say that now, but if I can work a little bit of magic, maybe the township comes out with one. Don't know. Yet to be determined.
Gotcha.
Trying some
Great.
things. All right, kids. Welcome to the world of the backside of life. I am sharing with you, this is the live map. So as we work through, I don't know, whatever kind of craziness comes up, we can make that change and make it like real right now. So, get your thinking caps on. If there's something that you remember from last year and you're like, I need 10 feet the other way, I can do this. I can. Especially for you guys, little secret, don't tell the people in Philadelphia. Texas is kind of like my other home. So I throw a lot of love to my Texas people. So whatever you want, let's make it happen. All right. This is your site map. The changes from last year that you are maybe unaware of, Paula, you probably are because we've been communicating back and forth. With that big, beautiful pavilion, we're not going to put a platform stage up. We are going to do as kind of we talked about last year, and we're taking the whole blessed thing. And that's going to be the stage. It has those beautiful steps walking up, make life easy for everybody. Scoot our survivors up a little bit more. Maybe they hit some of that shade, and everything be self-contained right up there. Again, we have that whole pavilion, bathrooms and all. So, if something did work great last year, something didn't work, please let me know. I have the ear of the township. They have been phenomenal to deal with again this year. So, what you got, kids? Let's talk. And can everybody see this? Is this big enough for you? I'm looking at it in like 32 inches.
Looks good to me.
Good. Just a reminder,
I just
and
zoomed it in. We're good.
good. And for Marcy, who may not have been part of the conversation last year, for Purple Play Zone, since we don't have a tent, and again, have your conversations. If you believe an extra 10 by 10 shade tent, would be a good thing. Wow, hold on. Hi, there you go. We can definitely have that conversation with Renee, because I'm not opposed to just dropping a little one there, just for parents to park a stroller or assembly point or whatever we need to do. That would fall under the shade tent. We can have that conversation. So please let me know what you think. And again, we will have down here on the bottom, there is the playground that is across the walking path, which is why we moved Purple Play down here last year. Did that work out well? Were people using it last year? Yeah. Okay. I love it.
And I think we actually ended up adding a tent. We might have just used an extra one we had because we had, which I need to reach out to them. We ended up getting face painters and something else. I can't remember.
The balloon.
Balloon and face painters, and they ended up needing a tent, so we used an extra tent over there for them. So it might be a good idea to go ahead and put that
I'm
down.
gonna
Put it in there.
shade tent.
Yeah, I
For
say add
Purple
it.
Play.
Yep.
And they needed a couple. We were able to finagle a couple chairs and stuff, but they needed the chairs to sit in as well. So I don't know if it's
So if
we
you're
can
gonna
request
have
a table.
if you're
and
gonna have
chairs.
balloon artist and face painter, let's say I add 2 additional tables and 6 chairs.
That sounds great.
6 chairs. Because I will be able to add that right onto the vendor tracker that you're gonna get to see shortly. Awesome. Awesome. Any other feedback from last year? I know we've already made some changes, taken the t-shirt tent out. Are you happy with layout? Is there anything that you thought, I wish I could just do it differently? Because now's your time. I'm the wish granter. Paula.
So what will be the S1 if we don't have the t-shirt? Because wouldn't that be where the t-shirts would be?
Well, those are going to be matched up with your sponsors. So this is a representation of who you had last year. Normally I would just wipe these out, but I like to know if you guys are thinking a lot of them are going to come back. So these are generally sponsor tents, with the exception of A1, which is your all-star team from last year. This is going to change between now and then based on sponsors that you're going to have, add, delete, all-star teams that make rank, whatever. We can probably add, at least a half a dozen more tents if we absolutely wanted to. So get them doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Paula, you got something?
My question was about the start line, and I know we had originally said one place, and then the day of we did move it. That's farther, correct? Like that's where it should be again?
This is based on kind of where you told me you were going to be. Maybe going blind because I was only there once. If you
Right.
ended up moving it down much further, that is simply I do this.
Just, yeah, that's what I thought.
So was it down like kind of around here
I
or
feel, remember it was, wasn't it, Jennifer, near like a pole, like a light
I
pole or
think
something?
the
I
poles
think we did the
here?
opposite. I think it
Oh,
was where you have it now. I think we pushed it further
okay,
because
okay.
it was the way
Yeah.
the road it like it dips down almost like
Yeah, because
Yes.
the event
this is
village
a
is further
slope
down
here.
than
Or I'm
yeah.
sorry, this is a heavier slope up here, and this is
Right.
where the less of the slope was. So you guys were up on this side because
Yeah,
Okay.
I
you
think
have
it
a
Then
was
that's
pole
yeah, I
what
up
we
think it
here
want.
was
and a
further.
tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Perfect.
that's what we want. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Because we were
and
past the tents at the start line.
I mean to be
Correct.
perfectly honest, you probably have Brittany back again. If you don't
That's
like
great.
where it's at, slide it down. It's
Okay.
all good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think just starting, like most people were trying to start walking on the walk on the path, and it was just so congested. And it's the more room we can have, the better. So
Perfect. I
yeah,
love everything about it.
yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, you could even ask your DJ to have everybody kind of start their line in front of the stage, you know, and then wind them up that way too. You know,
okay,
so
yeah,
just some thoughts. Some thoughts.
yeah.
All right.
And
Cool,
then
cool.
yeah, the
Go
only
ahead.
other thing that occurred to me that we wanted to like quote unquote change was a more specific start, like announcer, because I remember our DJs weren't doing that, and we didn't have it in our notes to actually say, okay, on your mark, get set, start. And so it was a little unclear the actual starting. So as long as it's in our notes, I think that will be great.
Okay. I have
Yeah,
notes, and I'm sure Hannah's also going to be taking notes as she always does. But we'll make sure that that gets up the ranks so they can be put into the scripts. And
perfect.
you know, if we need to, bullhorn, get your favorite person with the biggest mouth and send
Oh,
them up there, and they can
yeah.
send everybody off.
Okay. There you
Listen,
go.
I'll listen. It will. I'll come down. I'll work your event, and I'll do the start.
We would love that.
Awesome.
Mm.
You never know.
Great
It's a
excuse to
secret,
do
but
that.
you never know. All right. Anything else? I mean, seriously, I'm at your will here, guys.
The only other question I had was more the route. I don't know if we're gonna do that
Oh, we're going
next.
Mm.
there
Okay.
next. All right, you ready?
So,
The route.
oh, okay.
All right, let me try to make this a little bit bigger. All right, so hi. A little too much. I have notes here from some off-season conversation, and Paula, I don't know if you were looped in on this or if this was a Katie before Katie left. Um, there was some conversation about this being your long route that we did last year, the full.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there was that
Mm-hmm.
second
Yep.
version,
Mm-hmm. The short route.
the short route that we talked about possibly making a multi-loop and just keeping it on this side. Have you
Oh.
guys talked about that anymore? So this is just the short route where
Mm-hmm.
they kind of loop
Yep.
around this bottom part and we kind of cut this completely out. And then if not, we just do the whole loop.
Okay. So the question would be, because the police situation was kind of an issue in that um they
Right. And they're
didn't.
up here.
yeah, they didn't want to really have to send more people. So if the route was doubled and smaller, then that would help us. If,
Yeah.
if we can get other volunteers to take their place and to help still direct, then that's fine. But we were concerned that that might be the issue. So
Yeah.
what do you
And
think, Jennifer?
yeah.
Sorry, I'm not, it's not
That's
clicking
okay.
in my head.
That's
So
okay.
what is so the last loop would be completely taken out?
You would take out this upper part
Yeah,
here
and
by
do
the
that one
aquatic center.
twice. Do the
And then
For
just
small.
do
both the
two
Yeah,
short and
loops.
the long.
yes. Right now, this is both. Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
showing us both.
So what would the long route be? Just twice around?
No, the long route is one complete loop all the way up around the athletics or the aquatic center, come back down, and then they loop around the smaller or the lower loop one time, another
I
time.
think that's
So
what they did last year.
Correct. And it was confusing. And
Yeah.
that's where that was where our biggest thing, our challenge lied, is because there were people that didn't get it. They only took one loop and then they were done.
Right.
And
And
so
for a
we
lot of
are
people, that's okay.
true. But they thought in their brains, they were like, wow, that's the fastest 3 miles I've ever walked,
Yeah.
Yeah. So that said, like it also would, if we did it differently, not then affect signage. Because what my request was last year is have more signs saying big loop 1 mile, is the 3 mile, you know what I mean, the signage. So yeah, whichever way we go, we just want to make sure that the signage reflects that.
Right. So this would be the dark would be the primary loop. If we did 2 loops around that gets us close to the 5K, we'd be under. If not, then we would do the whole thing with a second loop. So it's just the question that you guys need to answer at some point is, do you want to cut this top part, eliminate these 2 crossings where we have the police department that,
Right.
was problematic last year, and just keep it down here where we can control it better?
What do you think, Jennifer?
Yeah. Do we know what the exact mileage is for 1 loop and 2 loops?
Stand by. I know things.
He does
I don't know a lot of
I
things.
remember you knew the answer.
He can just guess with his eyes, and it's perfectly mild. Amazing.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Course length, 1 lap, 1.72 miles. With the second lap, it's 1.31. So if we did 2 of the 1.31s, it's 2.6 miles.
So not quite 3.
Correct. And if you did the big and then the extra loop, you're at 3.1 miles. So we'd be cutting off a couple tenths of a mile.
Which is actually how it was at Houston Sports Park too. It was
Correct.
short.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I feel like a little shorter walk is more of a pro than having people confused and
having
on
the
the
loop
whole
is
other side of
easier.
the town where we don't know where they're at.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and having the loop
And the
is easier
police-
for you to manage.
Mhm.
Because then if people get, part way up the second run and they say, you know what, maybe I don't want to do this, they can cut back in at the pond, come back the inner trails, and sneak back in like they finished it, the whole thing.
That's true. That's
No
true. There
judgment.
were a lot of little trails. Yes.
It's a judgment-free zone.
Mhm.
I'm sure
I
that's
think 2
trademarked
full laps
somewhere.
would be less confusing than a full one,
Me
and
too.
then they kept trying to go straight, and then they were like, "Well, where do we go?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed. I'd rather do more laps and keep it simple.
Right.
The only other question I had was the one, which I don't think it was a lot of complaints, but people were, I wouldn't even say complaining, but just they didn't want to go back through the start line twice because they felt like they were not finishing. Like they didn't get that excitement of going through the finish line at the end because they'd already been through it twice, I guess.
Oh.
So I don't
So
know
if
if there's a
they're
way once we get everyone through to maybe
Yeah.
like have
Yeah,
somebody
no.
sit there and have them go, I don't know,
So
get them
I can
around
play
another
with
way or something.
I can play with this a little bit. If we bring them around, we have the inner here, so I can test it out with some stuff later next week. That maybe if when they come around this first time, they can come in, go behind the event site, come back out, come back down and around, and finish counter. It would just be some signage, but let me play with routes and stuff, and I can have Hannah kind of communicate a little bit back and forth, and let's see what we can come up with. I mean, if we're going to keep it all down here, it's a win all the way around. It's going to be easier for you guys as far as signage is concerned, managing it, and then it will actually be a cost savings because we won't have to have as many officers,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, we
always a
would
And I
have had
bonus.
think
to
a lot of people
add.
were,
Yeah.
I think they were confused too, because once they went through the finish line, and I didn't even think about it, I ended up running, getting the 5K sign and put it at the finish line so they knew to keep going, because I think they
Right.
thought they thought they were done.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they're going to do that. They're going to come through the
Yeah.
first time and they're done anyway. But the ones that
Yeah.
were really like, I was hoping to kind of get a 5K out of this.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, we can bring them all the way around. And before they come back in, we'll shoot them up the left side.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, okay, I can. And then they're gonna do a loop around the pond, come back up, and then come back down, and then they can finish at the finish line. I got this.
Genius.
Cool. Okay. I'll play with
Awesome.
maps and crayons and stuff. So, uh, yeah, yeah. And just since we're kind of on the same page, since it was conversation from last year, we are already confirmed with Creekside Forest Elementary, full parking lot. So
Woohoo.
I know we used part of this in the back for Survivor Overflow, but volunteers. But we'll have the rest of their parking area as well over here.
Which we
So
didn't have the first time.
no,
Okay,
we
that's
just
right.
had the back. Yeah,
That's
they had some event going on, but we got in. I got the confirmation yesterday. I was dancing. So
Yay.
the school district was great. And we have all of the other parking lots, and we can still use the aquatic center. So that should also negate that weird, awkward shuttle situation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I don't think even got used because it was
No.
too confusing to figure out where to go. They ended
Yeah.
up parking at the park across the street
Yeah.
and all down the street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
This will be
nobody from the
great.
township complained, so
Yeah.
we're good. So that should
This
streamline
is
things a
great.
little bit for you. I just want to let you know that that was already a done deal. So, yay team.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, I had forgotten that
Awesome.
it was only part of the law. So that's yay. That's super
I'm not
exciting.
kidding. Like Texas, I got you. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, as Jason already said, with this kind of finagling this route to go around the finish line, I can send you guys those when he's got them ready. We can do some back and forth. We can do, reworking it on our next call. We can do a one-off call before then. There's a lot of options for you guys. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great spots in here that we can loop them back up and around, and though, yeah, I might even be able to get it a little bit closer to 3. So we'll see. Cool.
awesome.
All right. Well, with that being said, I'm done sharing stuff,
Great.
and I
I
hand it
am
back
gonna
to Hannah.
Yeah, I am going to steal your screen share. For one last thing to go over with you guys, I know we're running short on time here, but I wanted to go over the new vendor tracker that we have. I know Paul and Jennifer, this isn't new to you, but it actually is a completely new format. So just because it might be super confusing to look at in the shared resource site, kind of wanted to give some preemptive info to this. So this is the third document that was dropped in the resource site this past Friday. I think you remember it used to be kind of a vendor summary with items listed out per vendor. Like the tent vendor, we had, 20 tents, we had 160 chairs, that sort of thing. We're going to still have that at the bottom of the document, but we wanted to divide it up also by area. We'll go over that in a sec. So you know exactly kind of what's in each tent. This is kind of made to make it easier for the people on the ground as you're going through on event day. You walk into the, food tent or the sponsor 2 tent, and you see this is exactly how many chairs we have, exactly how many tables. So we can kind of go over it a little bit. First thing to note is that this is going to be, my screen's a little small, but this is going to be your first page. And it's actually not much that you guys need to be concerned with. Things like the instruction box or any of this in this box, it's not super relevant. So you can kind of just skip past that. You don't have to worry about that. And the first thing we can talk about is the second page, which is going to be your vendor summary here. And this is kind of where we start to be and have already started booking our vendors. This is where you'll find the company name of the tent rental, the contact. When we get closer to the event, we'll also have your on-event contact. So, this is who you call if they don't show up in the next 30 minutes, stuff like that. Our staff partners are also, super helpful with this, and we'll probably be dealing with a lot of the logistics, but in case you guys are ever curious, that's what this is here for. Again, a lot of this is going to be filled in later. One more thing to mention about the second page is that a lot of it is not going to be needed or is going to be taken out. So it's very long right now, but this is kind of a new formatted document that we're using across all the events that we do with our clients. So it has everything on it right now. We don't want to delete anything that we might need for you guys later. Things like fans, we've never needed that for PurpleStride. So eventually these will be deleted lines. You won't have to worry about it. So just PSA, this is the longest that this list is going to get, and it's only going to get shorter and more readable if it's overwhelming right now. Now we get into by area. So orders and distribution here. First, we have kind of general stuff. So stuff you can't put anywhere else, like the radios, those don't go in any specific tent. So we have it here in general site supplies. We also have general route supplies and general site services. Anything with a 0 right now, we don't have for you guys. So parking, valet services, trash pickup, that sort of thing. It's either going to be TBD or we won't need it. And these will also be taken out near the end once we know that a little better. It's definitely a work in progress. After that, you kind of get into every specific tent. So here we have YD Stride. It has exactly what you're going to need for every tent. So you know exactly how many chairs you need. Yeah, we just think that this is going to be a lot more helpful instead of having to estimate and then just go around and figure it out. It's kind of just a really good cheat sheet to have in the event book. It's very thorough, so we can go through all of this. Again, I recommend you look at this kind of on your own time, take like 10, 15 minutes with it. If you have any questions from it, just shoot us an email. One other thing to mention, here we have our all-star teams, and then we have a bunch of sponsors down here. These are, again, placeholders from last year. So this was our order for last year's all-star team. Once we get that information, we'll put in their name, we'll put in how many there are. Same with sponsors, we'll have their names here. It'll be kind of a lot more digestible and easy to read. It's very long. You can get down to the bottom, and that's going to be where the more like traditional vendor tracker is. So we don't have it here right now, but on that next upload, the February 9th document drop, we're going to have the regular vendor report with like our tent order and a total of how many tents we have, a total of how many chairs we have, so that whoever is communicating with the tent vendor when they get there, you can kind of just hold it up to the invoice that they have and kind of compare them, make sure they match, and that everything looks good. I know it's a lot. It's a very, very long list, but I promise it's going to get smaller, and it's just kind of a helpful tool for being on event. You know, if Jennifer, if you're just super route focused, you don't have to, you know, look at this too in depth, and also because our staff is going to be working with us a lot, so it's just for you if you need it. If you have any questions on it right now, I can answer it. I know we did a super like breakneck run through. All good?
I think it's good. It's
Good.
kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah.
At the very end, that report that it spits out is even cleaner and easier to read than all of this. So that's going to be super, super nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is the course water station? I know the question was asked early on about water. Jenny, Jennifer, I don't remember. They delivered troughs, but then it seemed like it was up to us to get the troughs placed and get the water inside the trough. They lined the trough so we wouldn't be able to unplug it and let the water drain off. And then on top of the place not allowing like ATVs or not that we're putting troughs on ATVs, but anything to get those troughs to the places, well, it seemed like that was going to be a very difficult thing, because I don't think we set them out the night before either. That was something that we had to rely on help getting them that morning. So I think some of us all got there at 4 a.m. and we were lugging, you know, a case of water by hand through the whole thing. And then some of those troughs came back with 4 cases of water in them. Because nobody wanted to take it because it wasn't cold. Is that still going to be the same situation this year?
Did you guys have water come in from in kind last year, or is it just the cases of water?
No, it was an in-kind donation from one of the volunteers' sons.
Okay.
But
If that happens
she's not on the
again,
committee.
Yeah.
if that happens again, I mean, I can place the water check roadside so that it can be dropped off, and our staff members have a van that we can load all that stuff up in, table and all, drive it right out, stop on the side of the road, drop off the water station. This way, nobody is carrying cases of water ever again.
Okay,
That would be amazing.
That was just one of those questions that.
No, I'm glad you said
if we
something,
do
Marcy.
if we do the 2 loop around, instead of including that big section by the water, that really helps. So, because that was another piece that you can't take any type of motorized vehicle on that path. And we were worried about people getting back behind those houses and not having water. So
I'll give you a good spot. I'll give you a good spot, I promise.
Got it.
Yeah, we got very lucky that we had some gentlemen that helped with dollies, moving them, and they were happy to do it. But yeah, they were older guys, and it's not the best. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to use the minivans. Absolutely use the minivans. So we have them there for.
Yeah, if we don't get the in-kind water, can we get it through PanCan and have that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll be able to get a water order from PanCan. I believe we'll probably have to pick it up. We did in Dallas when I was up there, but we just get that, put it into, one of the vehicles, the truck, whatever, get it down, and then we can distribute it from there.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. I made Katie carry water when she was pregnant, so just saying. I didn't really. I did it all, but.
Great. Do you guys have anything like that from last year that's kind of on the ground advice that it doesn't have to be just vendors, But anything else for us to know, especially with this ordering or logistics, let us know, because if we can help with it, we'd be happy to. Like Jason said, we have all the things to help with that. So if there's ever like a question of like, yeah, I don't want to lug this for a mile, we can probably help with that.
Yeah, and
Good thing
I
to
do know, obviously, putting it in the order from the beginning is the only way to go, and we just didn't realize that we could. So
Right.
now that we know that we can, it's huge. So
Yeah, and it still comes through PanCan, but yeah, a lot of times it's easier than getting that in-kind donation. And I'm pretty sure it comes out of that event experience budget, but I mean, cases of water, it's I don't know. Pardon my pun, but it's a drop.
EJ's,
It's a drop in the
Costco,
bucket, so you guys should be good.
Walmart. Yeah.
$50. Great. Do you guys that was my last thing to share. Do you guys have any other questions for us? Anything we can go over right now? Or, you guys take your time to look at all the documents in the shared resource site. Let us know if you have any other questions after the fact too. We're all ears for you guys.
I had one thing I wanted to bring up, and this might be something we need to talk off topic before we bring back to you guys, but in the past we always had a live band. They are actually unavailable this year. They just got back to me. But I was thinking we always have an issue with the sound being too loud for the survivors. And I was wondering if it wouldn't be, maybe there's a good opportunity to see if we just do like DJ'd music and not a live band, and see if that is a better situation. I don't know how many other, I think from what Katie's told me in the past, we're one of the few events that even have live music. That most of them just play.
I have a fair amount of the larger groups like you guys. So like San Diego has a band. Other than that, like even Seattle being as big as you guys are, they DJ. They DJ it up. And it also gives them a little bit more control over things because they can cut in between songs, for general announcements, and generally that DJ is kind of on top of things. So yeah, I mean, if you can get a DJ set up, I think you're going to be in a really good place.
Okay. And I didn't know if that's something, if we have like a date, we need to have it set for like the sound equipment, if that changes anything, if we want to talk about it off topic first and as a group and decide.
No. So generally, if you have a band, we end up adding, a couple more microphones and some very minor additions to the AV program. You guys have a standard AV order for large event sizes, and that's what you guys fall in. So you're getting all the toys. So if the DJ is going to be there, they will be tickled pink that they will have the speakers and everything else to plug into. And we don't have to add the extra stuff. If something changes and all of a sudden you do have a band, then we communicate that to the AV team. They bring out the extra supplies. No big. So.
And to kind of chime in on that, Jennifer, when it comes to actually booking the DJ, I do know that in your volunteer calendar, there is a PanCan based PurpleStride based logistics deadline for the band or DJ that's set as March 16th, it shows. So that's actually the same deadline to get us like any last minute revisions to the map or anything like that, which is kind of convenient. You can, if you have questions about that, you can talk to Cassandra or PanCan if you ever need to extend it. That's more of a deadline on their end, but I just figured I'd mention it since I saw that.
Yeah,
and there's extra details in the calendar for it.
And then if we have, I don't know if you guys have seen this scenario, if we have an MC to do the MCing, just not the music portion, do people usually still get a like professional DJ, or just like play music and then just have the MC talk in between?
We definitely
sure, I think of like cost wise.
Yeah, there are like everything in between. So we have events that have a professional DJ and an MC, or, we have a professional DJ who is also just the MC who talks into the mic. We also have people who they show up and they play music from their phones and they sing into the mic, and like if they're playing good music from their phones, a lot of times people don't know the difference. So we've got a little bit of everything. It's completely up to you guys, but you definitely don't need like a professional DJ. We bring all the equipment anyways, so that's pretty much covered.
Okay.
Right. If you have a dedicated list of songs that you want played, you can have them played with the DJ or with the AV team. They can kind of set it up to loop, start and stop based on what your needs are. That's not a problem. I've done that in Pittsburgh. But then to the contrary, if you have, a local DJ that's like, yeah, I'd love to come out, get my name out there and give you my services for free. Definitely work with them. Charlotte last year, we had a DJ who was local, very, very small setup, very small. But the MC was like the local broadcast weather guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can dream it, it can be done. So whatever kind of, craziness you want to come up with, if you ever have a question about, is it going to work, shoot it to Hannah. I mean, whether it's a purchasing question or production question, somebody up here will figure it out and help you guys along the way. You guys have a great event. Whatever you need to do to make it even better, because I would love to plan something like, 2,000 people next year. Just saying.
Yeah. Cool. So side note question, do either you, Marcy, or Jennifer know of DJs or have any contacts?
The only one I know was our MC a couple years ago that we don't use anymore. So
Got it.
for a reason.
Got it.
The best I could do is pose the question out to other people to see if anybody knows.
I'm in the same boat. That's why I was curious. Yeah.
So are you telling me we are looking for a DJ? Because I can start the. Or do you want to stick with the MC?
Well, our MC has already committed. So I think we'll keep that. She, do you know Melissa Wilson? Well, she was there at the beginning last year, Marcy. But people in Houston love her because she's the local health reporter. And she has a personal connection with Camille and JR. And so she does it for me. She and I are friends, and she does it for me and for them. And she has agreed to do it again. This time she can stay for the whole day, which is great. She had to leave early last year.
What channel is she with?
She's Fox Channel 26.
If you want to try it, just from a couple of years of doing this, they may have a partner radio station in their group that might be looking for a little good PR. So is there something to ask her and be like, hey, does any of your affiliate, radio stations want to come out and maybe play a song or two, or just get their name?
That. Yeah.
That's a huge win we do with one of our other clients. Learn that one. So
Okay. I can totally ask her that.
Cool.
She's got some options.
Yep. Yeah,
that never would have occurred to me. So thank you.
Yeah.
Why we do this? That's why we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before I started looking for new bands, I just call
exactly. Yeah.
See what
and
other options.
Melissa's been here forever as well, so she has a lot of contacts and resources. So she is the perfect person for me to ask. Cool.
Great. Well, if you guys have any other questions, anything at all, I know we're starting to ramp up planning. So just let us know. You can, shoot an email to the volunteer inbox anytime. Or if, we ever need to set something up, a little call in the calendar, that's also totally possible. So yeah, thank you guys so much for jumping on this call and for just like everything you do. We give you the logistics, but you guys kind of make it happen and make it special. And you guys bring the fun. We're fun too, but you know, permanent can only be so fun. So you guys help. So thank you so much.
All right, guys, y'all be
Next
good
time,
now.
yeah, we'll talk to you guys in March. If not before then, go over some more details.
Perfect.
Thank you guys
Sounds
so
good.
much.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one. Good night.
Bye.